But James, amazing data for from the Australian Curriculum Assessment and Reporting Authority. The number of students identifying as neither male nor female has shot up by 20-fold since the pandemic. 2,500 students last year enrolled as non-binary compared to just 128 only 5 years ago. What does that tell you?
Well, it tells me, Andrew, there's a deliberate and concerted effort around the Western world to confuse young people about their gender. Time magazine recently published a study of more than 1 million Americans and found that less than 1% of boomers identified as something other than male or female, but almost 6% of Gen Z young people identified as such. And of course, there's no such thing as non-binary. You're either male or female. You can't be somewhere in the middle. But this is a concerted effort by a small but powerful group who believe that their own sexual orientation is their entire identity and indeed their world. So what do you do if you're that kind of person to feel comfortable? You try to sexualise every part of the culture. You begin with young people. We're seeing it in Hollywood. Disney recently boasted that 50% of their main characters from this point going forward would be LGBTQ characters. Pixar last year announced they were introducing their first ever non-binary character. They said this was historic. Sporting organisations. I mean, if you come out as non-binary, you'll get more publicity and more favourable publicity than if you win a gold medal. Politicians will fawn over you if you identify as something other than male or female. The education system is now designed to promote this. Our politicians celebrate it with flags, left, right and centre. And what's interesting, Andrew, about this study, it's about 2,500 young people in this country who say they're non-binary. And what has the Education Department decided to do? In response to a tiny group of young people who are not non-binary, they're gender confused, the Education Department have said, let's get rid of terms like boy and girl, let's get rid of terms like mum and dad and use gender-neutral language, which is nothing more than a concerted effort to inspire even more confusion. We are getting what certain groups and powerful lobby groups have wanted. We're getting confused kids. It's not by accident, it's by design.